Test. It's working. Nice. Hello, gentle people. Today we'll start a stream by explaining that I'm in my backyard and we're about to drink KunlaQuota. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. It's a citrusy flavor, local beer, which is brewed in Lübeck. It's very citrusy, as I maybe have already said, but it's nice and fresh with this hot weather that we're having in Belgium. Alright, so first of all, cheers, skål. That's good squishy. Now please let me know if there's some issues with the other sounds that you might be hearing, or whether I'm too loud or too silent. Just let me know. I couldn't fix my Yeti mic because it's a shitty ass table that I'm working on. So yeah. Oh, chat is working. Cool. So right. Today what I want to try and do is we've got this project that can now host, or not host, where we can add and read quotes. Last time what we did was this one here. So when you want to share a specific quote, then this one returns a new thing. Ah, thank you. The setup is just in my backyard, so I'm very happy with this. Inside it was too hot, man. So yeah. And the sharing was finished, or we finished that last time, and now there was this new task I want to pick up, so that when you read a quote or a shared quote, you should be able to see the surrounding quotes. That's really this one. And before I wanted to do that one and to make it visible, because before we were just working with this where is it, this api.http file here that we can just use to post quotes, get all of the quotes, but it's all just in JSON format. And starting here, there's more of a UI component, so that it highlights the one that was shared, and then this one and the one below are the surrounding quotes. So what we want to do is sort of annotate the one that was shared so that that one jumps out, but that your readers can still see these are also quotes that might be interesting to look at. So before we do that, I thought maybe we should just build a simple UI using Kotlinx.Html, which we can also just return from Spring. And that's what I've set up last time, so that if we run, I think it's still running in fact, so if we go to localhost/UI, voila, we already have something that looks like this. And so this is pure HTML that is being returned. We're using Bulma as a CSS framework, and that's why it's rendered like this already, like with a black background and just simple p tags. You already get this. And the way that this is coming out right now, I can already show. So now next to our API routes, which are used to post and get quotes already, we now also have a UI routes that if you do a get to wherever this thing is hosted, that we're then just returning HTML with an OK, of course, and then the body would be just a wrapper around the title that shows the quotes. So it's already looking a little bit like a component, huh? And this wrapper over here takes in a title and then a block. So this right here is the block. The block will be executed somewhere over here. So what we say with this wrapper here is initiate a string writer so that we can append HTML to it. And this HTML, or this appending HTML, is going to return you something that you can apply the Kotlinx DSL to. So we'll start off with just an HTML document. Then we can define a head where we then put the title inside of that we just get from a parameter to this wrapper function over here. We add some meta tags. We link to the current version of Bulma. And then we can start our body, which is just simple HTML. And from here, you'll be able to see that we want to render the quotes. So how does that work? There's this show quotes function here, which ideally starts off from a flow content. And then in here, we're just using our service to find all of the quotes for now. And then we're gonna map every single quote that we get. Well, actually this map here is on the result, so maybe it's a little bit confusing. So if it worked, we're getting all of the quotes. And then for all of those quotes, we want to show each and every one of them. What does that look like? Just how do you render one quote? And rendering one quote looks like this. So you've got a surrounding p tag, and then to define the component, I guess. And then we just print the date using this formatter over here, which obviously can be improved. And then every quote can have multiple lines, and every line will just be rendered like this. So we've got the author name over here, and then a colon, and then just the text. So there's no wrapping or whatsoever going on. We'll just leave that up to the HTML framework to render it. And then we finalize it by marking it as a simple line. And that gives output like this, which is already quite cool. And then, yeah, styling, we like the wrapper, or not the wrapper, but the space in between, we can just use CSS for that to add spacing and stuff like that. So that should be cool. However, I'm not that great at web and CSS and all of that stuff, but I know something that is, and that is, you might have already seen it, it's ChatGPT. So what I've told it, or what I've tried doing already, was I asked it, hey, do you know about Kotlinx.Html? Oh yeah, I know it. It sort of looks like this, and then here's an explanation on what it does. And then I was like, great. Help me build some nice components that just show a chat conversation, which really is what those quotes are. In fact, it's just a back and forth between one person and another. And then I told it I want my quote to look roughly like this. So there's a clear, I don't know, like a dashed line that has a date in it. And then here's the conversation, and then another closing line. So let's see what's gonna come out of it. So what I could do now already is maybe already just copy paste this thing and then see what comes out of it. They do have, or start off with a div container, so maybe I just should also start with that. Poink. And then we'll do just a replacement. See what it looks like. So this is one quote. Because here starts the date and here are the two p tags, so those we can see what it looks like. So let's do copy this one, we'll call it show quote 2, and then we can just start with this thing here. We don't need this dot anymore, because we can start from a flow content and you already have this thing. Alright, so then we just need to do some replacement. So this is not just the date, this can be quote or whatever we've got over here, in fact. Like that. Then there's a silly enter. I'm not sure that we will need that line, but we'll see. Then there's some media stuff. Here's the P for one line, so I think I'm just gonna copy this. And then I guess it looks like this. Where we say this is line dot name, and then over here it's line dot text, and then this can go away. voila. And then we'll try to use this one instead of the show quote. And unfortunately, I haven't set up hot deployment because I don't really know how to do that. Maybe I'll try to look it up by next time. And then once this launches, we'll just refresh our browser up. And then it looks like this, which already looks a bit better, but it's not really, huh? Because there's this box here. I can barely read this, in fact. I don't know how you set the default to not dark mode. Probably in that wrapper. There's already a container here though. But yeah, so this will already look a bit better. So I'm just going to remove this one. And then we can continue working on that. So the lines, I'm not even sure that you can see them. Let's go to the Bulma light mode or something. Themes and Bulma. Okay. Hey, Kipacha. Hey, my boy. Oh, damn. He always wants to play. So, as far as I remember, CSS stuff or SCSS stuff is that these are SCSS stuff, I think. Output of that theme resembles the following. Damn. Because I don't want to be messing around with okay, indeed this is required. Because I'm only using the simple, how do you say that, the minified version, and I would like to just know how to set it to use light mode by default. I don't want to do customization with my own template and stuff like that. That's too difficult. I just want a simple, good-looking UI, but then like in light mode instead of dark mode. There's a Bulma no dark mode CSS. I guess it's this one. So, so we could just use that one instead in our wrapper. Bomb. We'll have to redeploy. And then refresh. Oh, now I can actually read stuff. That's nice. So, yeah, obviously the HRs we don't need, so I think this is already quite nice. What I don't like is that they're all, they seem to be, I see now. Wait, maybe it's because, yeah, I see. So if you zoom in, then that's why it looked like this, of course. So this is what it looks like by default, which is not that bad, in fact. So we need to add some spacing here, and then I guess before I do that, I should change the quotes a little bit so that it relates to what ChatGPT was interpreting before. So if we go to our default quota, wait, if I need to do that, then I need to add quotes like that though, so maybe it should be fine. Let's add desktop, and then in here I just want my desktop. Here's the screenshot. Okay. The HRs, and I'd like the date to be shown more to the right of the box. Top right of the box of the quote. It's cool that it also informs you what it changed. Cited div with boldmark clauses is flex and is justified content space between two positions at the top right. So what is exactly? So we had the box, and then there's content. That's stuff we had before. And then instead of just putting a BR, now this date thing is in here. Like that. And again, we can just keep the date like that. I guess we don't need those HRs anymore. Okay. And then here's the second quote. So let's see what it looks like. That means redeploying again. And then the next thing I want to do is really fix this date, because now it's going to give us an incorrect representation. Huh? Oh, this is so much better already. But it's not top right, it's top left still. Maybe I missed something. So while it's doing that, let's fix this date time formatter. I guess we can write our own. Or is there a simpler one? I guess there's this one, but it doesn't really have the time. Or does it? Sure, maybe we can do this, and then we've got just the date. This we can put in a string, and then we'll just do space, and then we'll format the same thing, but then just use the time. ISO time. Okay, what did it come up with this time? Oof, am I? A custom CSS class. Now it's using flex end. Why do you need a specific class for that, in fact? Can we not just do is flex end or something. Let's rerun it. Meanwhile, we'll visit Bulma's docs again. There's Flexbox over here. There is flex or align content. Maybe that's the thing we'll need. Flex end is justify content flex end. Justify content flex end. Maybe that's something that we'll need. Like this then. Alright, so it did refresh. But it still didn't put is justify. I think I pasted it in fact. Oy, I guess I pasted the wrong thing that I needed. It's this thing that I needed. Ah, voilà. See, we can do this ourselves. That's better, eh? Allee, a little bit. Let's help ChatGPT. Okay. And then we don't care. And then now we can say now I want to add some spacing in between multiple quotes. So on the, what would it be then? The div container, huh? Yeah, okay, that sounds legit. Oh my god, it's coming up with it added again. This is fun. Yeah, so it's doing it on the box though, so you don't necessarily need a container. Is that what I conclude from this? Now I think it also added this content div. No, we already had that one. Let's see what happens if you just remove the container. Need to drink my beer fast because there's lots of bugs around here. Oh, it's already loaded. Refresh. Ah, voila. So by not adding the container, we already get a space in between. I guess it's just a natural thing that Box has. Okay. So this is already quite nice in it. Would there be a way to add this date like on top of this box here or something? I wonder. Yeah, I guess we already have a good setup to make a difference in which quote was shared. Nakiba. Yeah. Yeah. He's such a good boy. Yeah. Ah well. Ah well. This fucking dog. Yeah, what is it? Ah well. Where's the ball? Where's the ball? So the thing is, he doesn't want me to throw it. He wants me to throw it, but he would rather have me chase him. There we go. Good times. Yeah. What's up next? Whoa. What's up next? I think what I want to do is get like a better format here, because this is really not nice. So what we can say is that we can turn this thing into a function that says format date or something. And then, yeah, obviously we only need the add, so we can add that as date. Yeah. And then this is the way that we can now format our dates. And I guess we can unit test this as 2, but yeah. It's nicer if we can also see it. Said the Sabbe. What's up? Look at my beautiful UI that we've built in Kotlinx.Html. It looks just like HTML, but then it has a typesafe DSL that we can use to easily extract stuff into methods. So basically we've got JSX, but then in Kotlin. It's very pretty, very pretty. School, hè? And I've been using ChatGPT to help me with the stuff because I'm very bad at UI design. Now what else? So we were working on this formatting here of this silly date that we've got. There is a way to do it with a formatter, and then there's a date time formatter. But there's not like a general pretty one, unfortunately. Because it always puts the T in between and stuff like that, and the time currently also prints the seconds. I'm not interested in that. So what I think I'll do is create a formatter that is a custom one. Yeah, you can just do that. And then I want a dash, and I think I prefer this. And then we can just do a space where we say, yeah, maybe we should look at ISO time, what it looks like. He is the CSS boss. Josh Como, that's a good tip. Oh wow, this just uses a builder to get this. I'm not sure that I want to do that, do we? Is it not just like this? And then maybe SS, something like this? I don't know. Let's find out. The thing that helped me or make sense of design or CSS before. Who am I? This is not what we wanted. Was the refactoring UI book. This one is yeah, how do you say that? It helps you think about design and like what is good and what is bad design. So this is really nice. And we read this, and like once you read it, stuff just makes sense. But then I like the skill of taking the time to, you know, actually apply it. So that's one part, and then the other part is you know, having the skill to show it on the screen. That's like the other skill I like. But yeah, stuff to learn. Can we do this then? Maybe it's MI? I'm not sure. Yeah. If only there was a way to get faster feedback on this. Oi! Oi, oi, oi. Voilà. Maybe just like simple as this. That looks much better. So if we would add a new quote now, it should have the proper date. And I guess I'm also not interested in the seconds anyway, so it should just look like that. So let's go to the API. Let's post a new quote. Add a new quote. We'll call it. Oh, we had quotes in here, in fact. Stream. Ah, voilà. Let's put them both in here. I go here. I need 2 of these. Voila. And then we've got this one for Jones, and then this is the one for Karel. Ibsen. Alle mijn jongske. So. Oh, now we need to deal with quotes. Oh, I never thought about that. What if you add quotes in your quote? Oh my god. Alright, let's add this one. So it's now 2104. Voila. So then if I refresh, here's 2104. Okay, it still has that date. But that's okay. We can rerun our application. Voila. Voila. Seems legit. Okay, great. Sounds like we can commit this part. What did we do? Made rendering quotes. Oei. Quotes a bit prettier. Voila. And now we can make the code, the code prettier. So it's already a little bit of a tidying. We could have like I don't know, because this pattern, I guess we always want to have this as a constant somewhere. Eh? Is there a way to for non-constant expression? Date pattern. Voila, now it is all of a sudden a constant. And this format date can just become an extension function then. Voila. Maybe we just call it format or something. Ah, no, we cannot do that because then you need that format to Kunla date up. There we go. I guess we could move that to utility at some point, who cares right now? This is good enough for now. So then what I would like to do is extract all of this stuff into a little bit of a component. Like base components or something like that, smart and dumb components. I guess this would be like the smart component because it knows that it's going to render a quote, although it's not that smart, I guess. Maybe this is a smart component then, and then this part is just a dumb component because it's purely rendering. Something like that. I forgot all of that terminology, I'm afraid. Cool. And then this is rendering a quote line. So what we could do... here go the quote lines. So maybe this is a quote line. We can extract it to something like render quote line. Can we also replace it with a what say we? You could call it render. The other thing we could do is do the same with quote. Call this a render then. And then we can do the same over here. And then this is the date part, in fact. So maybe we can just do a render. That's not what I wanted. Undo. So let's first extract this quote add to a value over here. Call it add, and then we can extract this. We'll call it quote or quote date. And then we can inline this, of course. What's that? Hey, scholletjes. Karel, you're on the main page of the KunlaQuota website, and then these would be the lines then. So quote. Allee, jongen. IntelliJ, help me out here, man. Lines. quote lines. We'll inline this. Voila. So then we can, I guess, render this, then render that. I wonder if it reads better now, because we've got like a bunch of overrides. I'm not sure that we've got a winning combination here, but at least now all of these things are little components. Naming is hard, what can I tell you? But I was gonna show you, let's rerun our backend. So what we did was, in the light of making sure that the shared quote is highlightable, so that you can, when you go to this shared quote, then the UI should or something should return that this is the highlighted quote, the quote that was shared, and these are the surrounding ones, so that you can, you know, like laugh at other quotes or something. That you stay longer on the website. That's the plan. And to do that, we added UI routes. And when you do a get call to all of the quotes, then there's a title called KunlaQuota. We start a server response that's just going to return text HTML. And then here we just start a string writer that we can use append.html to. And from here you just get the Kotlinx HTML DSL that reads just like HTML, but it's type safe. And you get like nice suggestions and stuff like that. So that's great. And it also allows us to sort of like create components for the stuff we want to render, which we just did in fact. And when you render that stuff, it looks like this. Lowest amount of effort ever, because the only thing I just did was add a style sheet for Bulma. Do not have the dark mode included because I don't know how to configure it, because I'm an idiot. And then we asked ChatGPT on how to give us like a nice box to render our quotes in. So here we go. And this is already useful enough for me, because now I can say, let's say that we shared this quote. What I want is that this quote shows up in a different color or something like that, or like, I don't know, like the rest is grayed out or whatever. We can figure something out. And then maybe this is more of like a philosophical question or something. But if we compare both the UI routes, let me close a bunch of stuff. So we have the UI and we have the API. We have the API. If you look at how these are composed, you could say actually this API routes block here, it takes in the I quotes, which is just our interface for a service. Let's say where you can just find the quotes and do some stuff with it. That this right here is our functional core, and that the API routes around it is the imperative shell. And the API routes is the REST API imperative shell, while the UI routes is the UI imperative shell, because we're just using the same quotes service, but then using it in a different way, and they are rendered differently here. What do you folks think about that? Is this really functional core imperative shell like you're supposed to, or am I just talking bullshit here? What if we name these not render, but maybe like quote date? And I don't want to change this one, nor this one, nor this one. And then this would be quote lines. Then this one would be, I guess here we want render, but really... wacht eens even. I've got an idea, because here what we're doing is we're looping and then we are rendering every... Yeah, actually no, I'm convert reference to lambda, and then this would be quote line. I don't know about that. What do we think? I already don't like that the... So this is the quote. I guess you could prefix all of these things with like a render or something, but do I really want to? And these can all be flow content. Let's rerun it. Still looks good. Okay. Commit, call it tidying. Cool. So yeah, there we go. Am I missing something else? I guess like some kind of a... What do you call it? Like a header or something? Can you create a top bar that shows something like KunlaQuota? It should serve as like a top menu thing. I add a navbar, of course. So this we don't care about. Here's the head, here's the body, here's the navbar. Ooh, and then they did add a container to put all of the quotes in. I don't think we've got that thing yet. I'm gonna remove that API. Yeah? So in the wrapper, actually here in the block, now I'm not really sure what to do in fact. Oh wait, not what I meant. So the wrapper uses show quotes. So in here we immediately start with all of the quotes instead of having the container inside of this thing. So maybe we put the container inside of the block, and then we can put the navbar over here. Maybe this is already better. Let's see how this looks. Run all of the applications. I keep on swiping to the wrong side. Here, this doesn't look half bad, yeah. But why is the text black? Navbar item. I'm gonna guess that there's something like I think we should just go here, to the docs of here elements, maybe. No. Components. Navbar. Meow 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 meow. Goh. Item. That's what we have. But then for some reason it doesn't get Wait, it's weird that... Ah, yeah. Because if you don't define that it's classes here, the default thing for this would be something else. Or a div only has classes, that's I guess the reason. But so why is the text black? Do I really want that? Looks a bit shitty. I want it to be in some kind of a white or whatever. Well, yeah, whatever, man. We added a navbar. Let's add this into a component as well then. Navbar. Up. Keyboard. I guess here it does make sense that it's in a body and not on flow content, right? And then eventually it's easy to extend as well. Huh? So if you know, actually we want multiple items, then I guess you'll just add those items inside of this navbar if you want it to be configurable. Huh? So I'm happy enough with this. Maybe one thing we could do now is group these in like objects or something, so that we've got some kind of a way to semantically tell other developers, hey, these things belong together and these things don't. So what I could do is calling this object navbar or whatever, which is just a static object. And then I can move this function into... Can I not? Ah, maybe because it's private. Allee, boo. I really thought you could just move it to a class or something. Is there another way to do it? Control T. Pull members up. What does this do? Nothing. Extract, introduce. I want What, this is crazy, Annie. I cannot do that even. What's the refactoring here? If only we had Duncan here. He would probably know. No, I guess we'll just do it by hand then. So if we would do this refactoring by hand, it would look something like this. And then we say fun navbar equals, oh, these mosquitoes, that's going to be annoying, huh? Navbar dot navbar up. Ah, what now? Okay then. Does this work? Nay. Why is that? What am I missing? Sure, then it's the old import alias trick, I guess. If I go like this, and we'll go like that, then this navbar is still being used, and then I can just, actually, this is cool. So if you've got an inline object, or not inline, an object that's in the same file, you can define it like this, and then IntelliJ will just figure out, in fact, there's only one definition here, and it's inside of this object. So then we can move this object out of the file. Okay, cool. And then this, I guess we want to do with all of these things too. Date, yeah, but this part not yet. And I guess before we do that, we need to make this function not private anymore. Okay, so what I want to do is also like create a semantic border, for lack of a better term, around this stuff. So like that, and then I want all of these to be put in an object called show quotes screen or something. And now all of a sudden this doesn't work anymore. Interesting. Voila, and then we'll just move it outside. Yeah. And then I guess this is just like util. So let's do that. Object UI util. I don't know. Fucking hell. We'll move it out. Now it's no longer safe because that show quotes thing uses a date, and we need a proper extension for it. All right, so now our now we can make these private again because they're all like being used. Okay, and then quote apparently is used elsewhere. Show quotes. How come IntelliJ is not suggesting it here? It's weird, eh? Let's introduce a new package called components. I don't know. And then we'll move this one, actually all of them except the UI in here. Refactor. Okay, so now our UI routes looks like I give it a title, and I want you to show quotes with these quotes as a quote service. And then we'll read that this show quotes is contained within the show quotes screen. Maybe we can make this, or just not name this components, but like screens or something like that to indicate better the composability. Yeah. And then so what this reads like is you want to do show quotes. That means you get a way to show them. This is how you find them all. And then for every fetched quote, you want to quote it. So render or show the quote. What does that look like? Yeah, here you get one quote, you put it in a box, you put content in the box, you put a date in the content and also lines in the content. What does this quote date look like? It looks like this, which uses format to KunlaDate, which is something that lives in the util stuff now. Now this can be private, create. Okay, let's specify it then. So that was a date, and then how do the lines get rendered? You bundle them in a media, then they are in a media content, and for each line you render it. And that looks like that. That's quite declarative, eh? I kind of like it a lot. I like it a lot. And then we've got a dumb nav bar. Well, we can always fix that later, I guess. This I want to rename to just util because that's really what it is. Okay, cool. Now we can rerun our application again and then verify by looking at it that it hasn't changed one bit. Cool, huh? Voila. So this is more tidying, but more specifically moved all, or actually just grouped stuff that belonged together. Nice. Okay, I think I'm done refactoring that stuff. So I'll take a small break to get a fresh krijken. And then I'll see you soon. Fucker. Can always just share you the link to the playlist. Eh? Cool, hè? Am I? Okay. What's next? Huh. Yeah, we could actually do this thing. Eh? So whenever a quote is shared or read a shared quote, as a reader I want to read a quote that was shared with me so I can chuckle at the quote that was shared with me. Voila. Then is returned. So really it's just to open the link to one shared quote. So maybe what I want to do... Oh, wacht eens even. Because there's this thing, I guess, in HTTP servers where you can react to the requested content type. Because if I go to my this thing here, I tell it, by the way, I'm expecting application JSON. Or does it need to be like the accept content type? No? I forget. Watch out. Content type is for what you sent. I guess I want the other one. I guess it's this one. Accept encoding. Where Here I want a JSON. Nee, fuck. What's that thing? Features. Nee. I don't remember. Oh yeah. My silly idea was that your clients can just request what they want in return, and here we've got an API.http where you're requesting JSON. Just accept. Oh fucking echt. Here. Thank you. So then you'll get JSON in return, and if you are a browser, my guess is that the content or the accepted thing would be application or like html.txt or something. Wacht, hè. So let's go to the not this part, but like a network, and then we'll just do a refresh. And here, let's see the headers. I'm not sure you can read this properly. Should be a bit better, huh? Ja, wacht, nee. This is the response headers. And the request doesn't really say what the expected. Here. Accept text HTML. And you see, none of it is JSON. So we could just match on that, and then where was I going with this? Yeah, just return the proper thing, I guess. Huh? But do I want to deal with that now? Maybe it's just an idea. Let's put it in stream. Let's add it. Huh? Oop. Do pattern matching on the accept header. If it's application JSON, return JSON. Otherwise, return HTML. Okay. And then what? What did I want to do? Yeah, so I want to do that feature so that if you do, or if you request a shared quote, then you should just get that shared quote and return. So here's our API.http. If we post this thing as a shared quote, then here is the, oh, do we already have that? Okay, so we already have that. So we already did that apparently. This is cool. Yeah, this is why I wanted to do the, what's it called? The pattern matching, because then you don't need to have like this /API. Then you can just do get /quote $share, and if it happens to be application JSON, you return this. Otherwise, you get the HTML back. It's sort of then it's really like this, or more or less this. What did I mention before? Imperative shell functional core. Yeah. That's quite cool, actually. So if you go back to stream, this is in fact already done. The other thing we would like to do now, then, I guess, is reading a shared quote returns the surrounding quotes. This will be a little bit more difficult, I think, but now I want to know if we should just do this thing first. I don't know yet. Feels like this is just more refactoring. This is actually doing stuff. Let's try this one, yeah. Okay, so let's go back to our end-to-end test, I think. Because in here we have can be shared with an easily shareable HTTP link. That's fun, but we don't have a test for reading it. The other thing I don't remember is if we're cleaning up every time. Yeah, we are, I guess. Okay. So let's do that. So over here, a quote can be shared, blah blah blah. A shared quote can be accessed with its shareable link. I guess we've got an issue then, because the thing that's coming out of this here body is, I'm not sure, but I don't think it is a, it looks like that, this share quote. Now you see there's just the ID that's coming out of it, so that's a bit unfortunate, huh? Yeah, so we'll need to change this a little bit, this one then, to look like what exactly? Because here is this new location. So whatever is coming out here is the complete path, I guess, and then at the end there's the ID. But I think I want the URL in total for this part, so it's not that I only expect the quote share ID, but I think I expect something like where is it? The new location. So there, I was hoping that there would be like a. Do you have like here root URI? So root URI. Can we add path to this? That's already just a string, this URI, or what? Ah, yeah, okay. So then it looks like this. We've got a slash. Yeah, something like that. But then we already have it over here. So there's quote and then question mark share equals like this, and then we want the expected quote share. So this is what I want it to look like. And I think I want to put this in the expected quote share URL. And then this is the one that we want to verify against. So this is going to fail, as it should. And then we can test it for what's gonna come out. Yeah, cool. Cool. Okay, so let's go to... I think it's the API. Nee, not the API.kt, yeah. Then we want to go to the... that's a bit unfortunate that you cannot really see where the share thing is. Allee. You cannot explore it using command F12 is what I want to say. But luckily the methods are small enough for me to retrieve it. So here we don't just want this to be inside of the body. What we want is yeah, how do you get the root response or something like that? I think you can do like request. Give me the here, URI builder. See you, Karel. Wait, don't we? I think inside of the add we do created. Here it's as URI. So we want something similar, but then not on an entity ID of an E. What we want, I'm also not sure why we need that, but it's on a quote share ID. Quote share. What's this thing? A quote share? Just on a quote share. Cool. Yeah. Well, that's already correct. And then we want not dot path, I think. Is there a param? Query param. Nice. And this takes a map, but this thing, I think, where we say share, comma, this dot value, voila, and then we build. This should be good, huh? Let's see if that works, and so we can just do as URI with a request. Yeah. All right, let's test it out. The hell? Yeah. So the request already has /quote/share in it, and then the URI builder is just expanding on that. Can we, like, I don't know. There's also that weird double quoted thing over here, and that might be because this toString needs to be the toString at least. I think then we can just already get rid of the double quotes in there, and then it's a matter of of removing this /share. Okay, how do we do that? Is there a dot remove? Replace path. What does this thing do? Of the request dot. path dot last. No. Let's just do download documentation. We could do this maybe, but then I also don't know. Sure, we could do this, but then it's like hard coded, and do we want that? I guess we're going to miss the API part in it, eh? Yeah. So this will probably make it green, but it's not really what I want. What I really want is to just replace the last one. Is there something like that? This will have to do for now. Okay, so this is a bit better than it. Just a bit though. So that's already good, because then we can use this in our tests. So here we've got a shared code can be accessed with its shareable link. We do this post just once. Out of it will come that this one, the expected quote share URL. I'm not sure that I want to keep this. Well, let's say that we do for now. Then what I want to do is I want to do a REST template get. Well, I forgot how you do that. So adding multiple quotes, and then we say exchange, and then you get a list. So that's what we also want. But currently we're just happy with one quote in a list, which is the one that we get. So it's exchange for a list of quotes. Please go to this URL. Is that not how it works? Ah, yeah, fuck. So now, now we need just the last part of it. And then with a get. So like this. What was it? An HTTP method get. This one we don't care about right away, I don't think. No, we do want it to be shared, so I guess we can still do this assert. Yeah, that's okay. And then what? So, oh well, these are shared quotes response. And this thing should just contain do we have that anywhere? Nee. What is this thing? Let's do body. Do we want that? No. We can just do contains exactly, ne? And now we want one specific quote that has this line in it. Multi-line quote. Oi. Right, it's too much stuff that I'm uninterested in. Fuck. New location. Here's a quote ID, so maybe we can do that. ID? Isn't there an ID in here? I will just do first or something. ID, yeah. Voila, that's good enough. Let's rerun it. Goh. Ah, it's already working. Crikey, mate. I guess it's because we already implemented that read of a shared quote, but I actually don't know how. How? Where is that? That we do? I don't see one even. Ah, I think I know why. We're always only adding one quote, so whatever get is returned, it will already be the there's only one list to be returned, and it will always contain it, so it will always be correct. Ja, was dann? This is opposite world. Typically I'm inside, and then he's coming towards me because he wants to go outside, and now I'm outside and he's coming to me to get inside, so be right back. This is very fun. All right. Yeah, so this just means that our test is bad, and that we also haven't implemented this read yet. Let's go to the test again. So, man, this test is becoming a bit of a mess, I have to say. Guess we can refactor it later. So I want a working test first. A failing working test, huh? How do we go about that? So we say that's to post for location. We've got one quote, and then I need another quote, of which I don't really care about because I'm just going to be checking the ID anyway. Let's call this the shared quote ID. And then this can be our well, the lines that we really don't care about this. Maybe we should just add one line even. Wait. We can inline this. I guess another way to set this up is to inject the not the template, but then also the service, and then we can just add whatever we want. Then we've got way more control about the difference between the setup and our assertion will be a little bit more clear. Maybe that's a good idea. But the idea of the end-to-end test was to just hit our endpoint only. Let's just stay here doing this, and then we'll refactor that stuff later. So we create, this is the quote that we want shared, really, huh? And again, the only thing that we care about is this part over here. So we don't really care about this, but it's, well, if this is already failing, then we know something else is going on. Huh? So let's keep that for now. Then we got an expected quote ID. Then this is the expected quote share ID, which we just recreate because recreating it should always return this. It should be deterministic, as what we said before. That's allowing us to do this. Then we build a URL using that expected quote share ID. We'll share it. And then we expect, if we call this URL specifically, that we only get this shared quote ID in the list and not anything else. So for that we need to add new quotes, which means we can do this. Wacht, let's clump it together. This is the other quote. I think I'm just going to manually inline it. And then this new location I'm not interested in. I just want to perform it. The thing that will be useful for us though is if we keep one of them. To have the lines to be have distinctive lines, that's what I want to say. Okay. course, now it's no longer easily reusable. Yeah, so we've got two things now. If we... fuck. And I guess we want to do this one first because we're requesting give me the first one to be equal, and then it will be like that. Wacht, nee. Because we sort by... what's it called? Descending. From newest to oldest. So posting this after this one got posted means that this one will show up as the first quote. Because it's a reverse order. Very difficult. I'm gonna guess that this test is now going to fail. Yes. It's not very readable, but the entity IDs are different, that's clear. Huh? Okay, so now let's implement it. So we've got API KT. What I want is another get. Let's put it more close to this post for the sharing thing. So I want a get where we say, is there something like that? Ooh, there's also a predicate. And what's the pattern look like then? So we do quote, and then it should be question share equals, and then the ID or something, eh? Malay, where? Does it look like this? Share ID? I've got no clue. So we could just do this, then we've got the found quotes, and then I want to filter where the quote, but then not ID, but it's... Oh no, and we don't have that. Oh, this is quite unfortunate. Then we can, I don't think I want to do find all here, but I want just something working, and then we can improve the code as we go along. So first let's write it inside of this thing over here. So we've got quotes where we do find all. However, when we do this, we don't have the share ID, because for some reason I wanted to put that elsewhere. Does this thing have a find or something? It does. But for a quote ID and not a quote share. I don't think there is an easy way around it. Unless, of course, at this quote share repository, there's an implementation of it. This one. If we just inject this one, maybe we can find by quote. Here's a quote share. Share record. This is even going to return quote share records, which I guess I'm fine with, because I want the reference. So I want to do find by reference or something like that, and then this one should just exist too. So, wacht, this is going to be a bit nasty, yeah? Vupido. This is Kotlin. I can confirm that this is Kotlin. Oh no, it's not going to be that easy at all. I wanted to hack around it a little bit. So what I wanted to do is introduce this quote share DAO as a dependency. But so when I do this, I guess I'm going to break more than just one thing. Oh no, it's okay. Oh, okay. Maybe it's quite okay then. Oula. Let's see if this already works. So to just introduce the dependency. I run my end-to-end tests again. Oh, voila, it is just loading. It's gonna be a bit nasty. Okay, so what do I want to do? I want to check, find all of the quotes. That's okay. Then with those found quotes, I want to find the one that corresponds to this share ID over here. And to do that, I want to go look at the quote share DAO, give me a find by, and then there should be a method called find by reference, I guess, which then has the, oh yeah, fuck you, mosquito, the request. Wait, we don't have that one yet. The requests. What could this be? Query param. Oi. Params. I guess it's this one, yeah. And we can use the Kotlin equivalent of it then, where we say param, give me the share ID. So this thing corresponds to that thing over here. Oh, thanks for the follow, Vupido. And then what do we do with this param? I guess we want to just take the value of it. Huh? So let's bang it out for now. We don't need to do that because it's an optional. Yeah. So we do get. Wait, we wanted to param or null it. Yeah. And then we just go like that. So just don't worry about it. We will always have a share ID. And then I guess we need to implement this function. It should be the reference. Yeah. And it should just return a quote share record, maybe. Voila. And then once we have that quote share record, maybe, what we can do is fetch the quote ID. Then this is the quote ID. Let's just spell it out of the found shared quote as a string even. We'll use a quote ID dot from string on this one. This is the quote ID, and this will have to say, I'll help IntelliJ that, by the way, this is in fact a quote ID, yeah? Voila. Oh, that's not any. Okay. We'll bang that one out too. So we're just going through the process of making it look ugly now so that we get a working end-to-end test, and then we can work towards putting all of the logic in the correct appropriate places. But then we can already verify that this is something that we can use later. That's why we're doing this now instead of doing it immediately correctly, because doing it immediately correctly will require me to write a test for the quote service, write a test for the quote DAO, etc. And I just want to have a faster confirmation that this is like a path that I want to be going into. So we find the quote ID, hopefully. Then once we have that one, then I want to compare, give me the one that matches this one, and actually only give me that one. Okay, but this thing will just return the list of things that match this one. So I think now, if I'm lucky, my test will just work. Balls. It's still returning not the ID that I expected. So now, what might be going on is that I don't know how this getter matching thing works. Wacht, I think I know why. It's probably much like we had to define the empty quotes here with the post so that this one could be resolved. I think we'll have to do the same with the get now. Okay, still failing, but still for the right reason. For the same reason. Alright, I think it will be a useful thing if I just start explaining what we're doing, and it will hopefully get me to where the bug is. So what we have is we've got a web application built in Spring Boot using Spring Boot's RouterDsl to define the routes instead of just using the typical @REST controller annotations and stuff like that. You might be wondering, yeah, but then why are you not using the BNDSL? I don't know. This is what we ended up with, but good question. So what happens is we define this API routes bean as a router that nests on a /API path. What does it nest there? Whatever is in API routes. If you go to API routes, we just added this quote share DAO as a dependency, but really the only thing we want is this dependency here, which can be considered our functional core. Like starting, if you go in there, you don't want to take into account the IO part, let's say. So there, everything is pure and beautiful. So then, when you go to /quote and just the regular get, so when you do a get to /quote, maybe it's probably more easily shown if I show you this. So if you just do a get to API /quote, then you're getting all of the quotes that have been posted to our application up until this point. This allows you to post a new quote where you have to define what type it is. Yeah, the contents of your quote basically, and then posting it to /quote/share also allows you to share a specific quote. For which you need the ID. So this is an already existing ID, and then this is something that is gonna come out of that. So now we're working on making this thing work properly, because currently it's just resolving to the main get here, and it's returning all of the quotes instead of just a single one. At least that's what I think it does. So if I do that, here you see it is returning indeed all of the quotes and not just the one that I requested. Alright, so let's go a little bit deeper into how the code works. So this quotes thing here, if we then just do a regular get, we try to execute find all. Find all does what exactly? It's gonna delegate it just to the code repository. Our code repository is an interface, but it's implemented by data JDBC quote repository. So this thing is just a wrapper around a quote DAO. So this thing lives inside of the same file. This is a CRUD repository. Maybe that's probably why. Yeah, whatever. Got distracted. So this CRUD repository here is part of Spring Data. and its current implementation is Spring Data JDBC, because that's the only thing I've got on my class path, which allows you to define small little entities, like an equivalent of JPA, for example, where you define what a table is for a class, and then you just, this is really all that I needed to do for that, and then it just worked, which I liked. So this, what does this thing then still have, you might ask? So this is just the wrapper around the ORM part of the thing that understands how to save my domain objects, and that's the other part of this class here. So it tries to implement a way to store my domain classes, currently just quotes. When that doesn't work, you're getting an add failure, and that one can be that the quote already exists, for example. Voila. So that's, in short, how the application works. We've got a bit of a, I don't know if you want to call it clean architecture, or the what's it called, the functional core and imperative shell. I don't really know what the real difference is. I don't really have adopters though. I just have small packages, so that's the thing that allowed me to just use or inject this codeshare DAO directly into my API routes. It's probably typically not something you would want, but we have it now, and it's well, it was going to prove useful, I thought. So we were trying to debug why this share thing is not working, and I cannot really say show available actions. We could do this and then see voila. So now either the generation of that is broken, or this is simply incorrect, what I've got here. I wonder if there's like another get where you, what's this predicate thing? I wonder what the predicate thing is. So instead of the pattern, maybe there's a, we can use that. A request pattern. A predicate. And then this takes in a request, and then you can say true, voila. So what we could say here is request, give me the query, fucking hell, the params. Is it params or? There's not a lot of utility on this thing, I guess. Let's maybe read some docs on how the pattern is supposed to work then. Yeah. Download sources. Very useful. A pattern to match to. Oh. Instances of this function that evaluate on common request properties can be found in... Allee, jong. Damn it. Let's go to request predicates then. This one. See what we got. Amai. Oh, and then you can chain. Ooh, this looks This looks much nicer. All right. Let's give it a shot. So let's maybe duplicate this part for now, and then what I want to do, I want to say request predicates dot I want path slash. We're already in quote, so I guess that's fine. So I'm not interested in path then. I want a query param. Has the given value. I don't care about the value, I just care about the existence of it. So money. Maybe this one then, a path pattern parser. Jesus, path pattern. Can we build on this thing or no? Well, maybe, but not sure. A method I don't want to match on. So I guess we could do this and then say it should have a param called share and it should be always true. But what's this predicate then? The other one? Let's see what this does. Nee, I want to run my test again. Damn it, I should have run. Oh, I should have run all of the tests. Because this does look like it's working, eh? Okay, so I ran the wrong test apparently. Or something else is going on that I don't really know about. Didn't I just run this one? Let's just run it separately. Maybe the test isn't isolated. Oh no, okay. Fucking hell, mate. So now I'm just doubting that I'm hitting this endpoint. So what I want to do now, so this looks simpler. Let's try this thing first. And then what I want to do is println some stuff like, yes, you are in fact in the correct get function. We'll just run the thing again. I hope I'm not running all of them. No, okay. Okay, so somewhere in this thing, I expect, yes, you are in fact in the correct blah blah blah. Ooh, I'm not getting that at all, in fact. And then, because I'm an idiot and I should have done this first, let's rerun it in debug and then see that we actually don't end up at this breakpoint. It is getting dark here and I still need to move all of the setup back inside. Ah, voila, we're not in here. And do you want to bet that we're in fact in here? Ta-da! Okay. So it confirms my suspicion. The other thing I wanted to try out is maybe order matters. That I guess we can confirm by doing it like that. And we can verify in which function we'll get. I guess I didn't run it in debug. Yeah, so still ending up in just a regular get. Oh, I think I'm thinking I just have. Yeah. What if I just go like that? Oh my god, this would also not work probably. Nee, then actually no idea. Can we expand on this one? Query, params, nee. SpringBoot RouterDsl match on query param. So how does that work? Can you then what is supposed to be hitting on then? No. So that's like a typical thing I'm having when you're Googling for router function DSL is there's two different things. There's like the reactive router function DSL, and then there's hashtag the other one, and I'm using hashtag the other one because this one lives in just Spring Framework Web Servlet. So maybe I should be looking at this. No, it's still in the Does ChatGPT know about it? Do we have already a thing? It looks like we would be able to do this if we just use that predicate. Maybe my predicate was incorrect. Although Ah, nee, still in the... No, we are in the correct one. So maybe now order didn't matter then. But then it still was incorrect. Ah, now we're getting null pointers. That's indeed a very different issue. Yeah, so now I guess this is correct because we're not expecting a share ID. Yeah? It's share that we want, not share ID. Okay, let's run this. If this works, I'm committing pushing. Here's okay. So let's go to the end. Let's go to the test and then run all of the tests. It's been a while since I've done this, in fact. I don't have a CI setup, so I don't know when I've broken everything, in fact. Voilà, so now there's failures occur, bla bla bla. Oei, wat staat allemaal? So, it's probably, yeah, in our routes. No, sorry, what am I saying? It can probably not load or find my DAO. That's probably the issue, since I've now added that. Oh, this is okay. Alright. I'm just going to commit this, figured out how to match query params. Okay, and then I hope to see you all next week to continue the work on this beautiful code base. Thanks for hanging out, and see you next week, I hope. Deuces!